What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pat and Dan Show. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. To my right is the man, Dan Rourke. How are we doing tonight, Dan?
Bro, I'm doing so well. First of all, I always get so weird about the mute button because it always says I'm muted.
Yeah, no, it automatically does it.
Bro,
yeah.
I have missed you, man. I really
Dude,
have.
it's been a while.
It's been so long. It's been like since after the wild card game, right? I think after the wild card game, it was like where the Yankees go from here. And now we're back, bro. Opening day is not tomorrow, but in 2 days.
No, yeah, it feels
It's good to see you again, man.
I know I haven't talked to you in like 6 months because we don't talk outside of the show. That's
so
it's
been like forever. We don't really keep in touch. We used to be good friends, but
we used
to kind of fell off a little bit, you know.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yo, appreciate everybody for stopping by. Listen, before we get into anything, I want to say that tonight's show, we're basically going to break down the entirety of the Yankees 2022 season. We'll talk about everything under the sun. I guess we'll go player by player a little bit. We'll go position by position, see what our expectations are, predictions. We'll talk about everything involved in the 2022 Yankees. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. Before we get into anything, let's take a 10-roll call. Let's see who we have in this beautiful chat. Dude, this is great.
Yo.
This is great stuff. Let's start things off from the top. We got Not So Family Fun Vision, John Blom. We got Conrad, Sweaty Boy Moss. He's sweaty, I guess. We got Benji Backstage Baseball, D&E Show. We got Zohai, Matty T Gaming. We got Devok, AJ A. He's not just AJ, he's AJ with another A. Ryan Delmonico. Who else we got? We got Platty. Platty's a member of the channel. Let's go. He's using the Dan emotes. We got Lori Mod of the Century. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. I know I probably missed a ton of people, but
we missed one person I want to address, bro. Somebody said, I forgot where it was. All right, I missed where it was. Said, I don't wear underwear, bro. That's not the case anymore. That's not.
You wear underwear now?
Do you want to see? No, I'm kidding.
No.
I do. I changed.
Proud.
I don't know why. It's like a comfort thing. Like you find the right brand, and it's
almost like it's hygienic, right?
No, it's not. No, because I'm already hygienic as hell, so I don't like that was the thing. I didn't have to worry about it, but it's like a comfort thing.
Okay, yeah.
I don't wear briefs now. I wear the loose ones.
All right, listen, chat.
Baseball is back.
Yeah, baseball's back. We went through the entire offseason kind of just like not knowing when the season was going to start. We went through a lockout, and then we went through a period after the lockout where we were waiting on the Yankees to make a huge move. They didn't. It's fine. I'm super confident in the Yankees with the team that they have currently constructed going into the season, even though a lot of people aren't. I would say before we kind of go like position by position, I'm just going to say as a whole, I'm confident in this Yankees team. And there's just something about them. It's like a gritty / like misfit bunch factor that I think like can give them a little bit of an edge to go out there and like they're finally not the favorites in the AL East, right? They could possibly go in with like that 2017 mentality with like a chip on their shoulder and just surprise everyone and just dominate the AL East. It's very possible.
Yeah, no, for sure. And bro, as for like the vibe, I feel like this further enforces my idea that it's not like fun being a powerhouse team or like being the favorite by a mile. Like that's obviously like what you strive for if you want to be the best team in the division. But like in terms of like just like the feeling going into the year, like the pressure, like it's fun. Like how the vibes going into like 2018 or like 2020 or even last year. But like the second like shit starts to go down, like not as fun anymore. But like right now, bro, like they're having fun. Like they look really good too. Like in spring, I know we're not supposed to buy into like too much of spring stats and whatnot, but like not even like the numbers, but like people are in shape. Like Glaber, probably honestly, in my opinion, the best shape he's been in as a Yankee. Hicks looks like he's lost weight. Rizzo has definitely trimmed down a little bit. So like besides, I mean, I guess you could say Herman's injury, but like besides that, hasn't been any injury. So like vibes are good.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. We're chilling.
No, but yeah, that's why I'm kind of like looking at the Yankees team and not only based on what we saw in spring training, but also kind of like I know like you're banking on a lot of guys to rebound, but it's almost like they have to, right? Guys like DJ LeMahieu, guys like Joey Gallo, guys like Aaron Hicks, guys like Gleyber Torres, they're not going to get worse. That's just the way I'm viewing it. That's the mentality that I'm going into the season with. It's possible that they do because anything's possible in baseball, but that's the mentality I'm going in with, that there's no way that they could get any worse. But I say we kind of just like jump into it, go position by position, talk about what our thoughts are on each one, and kind of just go from there.
Yeah, we're also, bro. I want to say, did you see somebody posted the opening day lineup from last year? Have you looked at it?
Oh, dude. Okay, we could talk about this real quick before.
I'm not sure how you currently feel about Clint Frazier still, but like, bro, it's like a stark difference, honestly, and that's including having What?
But here's my thing about it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a stark difference because we're looking at it in 2022, right? When that lineup first came out last
Sure.
year, we
Yeah.
were like, this is a death lineup, right? Because no one knew how bad Aaron Hicks was going to be. No one knew how bad Jay Bruce was going to be.
Yeah.
No one knew how bad Clint Frazier was going to be. We could look at this lineup a year from now and say the same thing, right?
No,
Josh
no,
Donaldson
for
could be
sure.
released. Isaiah Connor Falefa could be like, dude, these people could be awful. So looking at it a year from now, it's always completely different.
Yeah, but I'm not saying in the sense of like, oh, we were dumb last year for thinking this lineup was good. No, not that. It's just like if you look at, I guess this is kind of like the vibe overall we've been saying. Like the team's improved, like
Sure.
100% without a doubt. The team is improved, and you can see that from the lineup last year to this year
Sure,
to
but
what's
also,
probably
like,
going to
at
be
the
able.
time, we have to remember, like, we viewed that as a very, very good lineup.
I know what you're saying. You're saying so that means
Yeah,
this year's lineup could be crappy too. No, I'm
yeah,
not. I'm not
looking
saying that.
back on it. So,
Yeah,
you never know. But I say we kinda start things off with, catcher, right? Why not? So the Yankees opening day catcher, is going to be Kyle Higashioka, who, Dan, I don't know if you've kinda, like, taken note. This dude's like Babe Ruth in spring training. I think he
bro,
has,
I
like,
know.
7 home runs, absolutely raked. Now that he's, like, the Yankees' everyday starting catcher, not only when Garrett Cole pitches, because the Yankees traded Gary Sanchez to the Twins for anyone who's, like, been living under a rock. I'm kind of excited to see, like, what a full year from Higgy's gonna look like. Because we saw, like, little spurts, like, when Gary would get hurt where Higgy would get, like, some consistent playing time, but we know he's better than Gary defensively, and if he could be better than Gary offensively, which is kinda like what he showed so far in spring, I'm really excited to see what Higgy can, like, do as the full-time catcher.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like, he doesn't even have to be as good as Gary. Like, off. If he, this is my thing. Like, I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself with the way Higgy looks. Once again, I am a sucker for spring training, and he's looked phenomenal. So it's hard, like, not to get excited. But if he's even league average, bro, offensively, and then
Yeah.
like the defense and like the framing, all that, but just like the big thing is like pitchers didn't want to pitch to Gary. And like that's something that I've had to really open my eyes to over the past couple weeks because we haven't talked about the Gary thing, at least live on air. At first, when Gary trade went down, I was kind of bummed out, not gonna
So was
lie.
I.
And
Yeah.
really more so from like a personal standpoint. Like, I'm not saying Gary was like an amazing player or any of that, but you know, 2016, like that was a very good time. Personal attachment to Gary was sad to see him go. But like really once spring training started, like you could like that's one of the things I'm really excited about for the Yankees this year. My bad. Is it's going to be a different team. So whether or not its offense looks like Gary or not, like it is going to be a different experience with Higgy over Gary, and like all signs are pointing towards that's going to be positive.
Yeah, and also it's like I was kinda surprised when they traded Gary because I've been, like, saying for so long,
I
I
was
think,
too,
like, he's the catcher until he becomes a free agent, so and I didn't think they were gonna resign him, so but I'm surprised,
especially when his value was so low too. Like it really
yeah,
didn't go up after last year, like
yeah,
after 2020.
it
So
was weird, but, like, when the trade first happened, I kinda wasn't a huge fan of it, but kinda, like, reflecting on it, like, a couple days later, solid trade. Also, it kinda depends on, like, how Donaldson does, whether he stays healthy or
I mean
not.
that's why I like the. I'm very excited for Donaldson, which I know
Yeah,
we'll
same here.
get to,
Yeah, no,
but
we'll get to.
yeah,
Listen, working our way around the diamond here. First baseman, it's gonna be Anthony Rizzo. I know he's not like the most exciting option that we were looking at as far as offseason goes. Like, we kind of viewed Anthony Rizzo as like the worst case scenario, right? We
yeah.
wanted Freeman, we wanted Olson, and we settled for Anthony Rizzo. But then again, like settling for Anthony Rizzo isn't the worst thing in the world. Pretty damn good defensive first baseman. We saw what he could do offensively. He kind of like slumped a little bit after COVID last year.
Yeah.
But still, I think that he's a very, very solid option at first base. Having that lefty bat in like the middle of the order, combining him with Joey Gallo, completely different from what we've had on the Yankees the last couple of years, right? With no big lefties. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm expecting a decent season out of Anthony Rizzo. Like I don't think that it's gonna be anything ridiculous. Probably like 25, 30 home runs, maybe about like 240. And I think we'd be satisfied with that, like with some solid defense, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I say right on there. I mean, I would expect him, yeah, 25, 30 homers. He was, I mean, he was, well, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a week and a half, 2 weeks before he ended up getting COVID, but he was like, I know everybody remembers this, but like, he was like really good. And then, yeah, COVID happened. But I would say, I mean, the defense is going to be there. Clubhouse presence too. I feel like that's a big part of it. You know what? I do believe in like that. It's good to have guys that have done it before in the room. And
Yeah.
like, he's like good guy to have in the room. And yeah, offensively, I mean, I did kind of get like I was expecting either Matt Olson or Freddie Freeman. I forget what were you thinking the Yankees were gonna get Olson?
Dude, I kind of had like Olson as like the I forgot what I called him.
I've
I
pegged him
think
in
I
every
called
Yankee projected lineup since like the beginning of November. So like when
yeah.
Rizzo went down, I was disappointed. But kind of like what you were saying, like once I get that out of my head, then I'm thinking like, all right, Rizzo's a nice player. And it also
Yeah,
goes back to
he's
saying
not
like,
bad, bro.
yeah, he's not at all. And it goes back to just like year over year progression. Like the Yankees are a much better team now. And, although it was many highs and lows, the team in the second half overall, like, or ever since the deadline last year was like a 600 winning percentage team. And Rizzo was at times a big part of that. So I'm happy about Rizzo. I'm glad to have him back. And like I said, he's in really good shape too. So
yeah, no, I agree, 1000%. And then as far as like first base depth goes, you saw the Yankees brought back the man Greg Bird,
oh,
right?
yeah, bro. I've seen it. Can you see it? Can you see the name right here? You see that?
It looks
You see
so
my
funny,
camera, bro?
bro. The eye is like wrinkled in your shirt, so it's just
I texted my
BRD.
dad immediately. I was like, yo, please find me my Greg Bird jersey. And he found it in a picture. I was so hyped, bro.
Is that not so weird?
What, that we brought him back?
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? I thought it was possible. You want to know why? I can back this up. When he was released by the Blue Jays, I put it on the Yanks Have Instagram story, just as like to put it in people's head that it's possible. And then when he got signed, bro, I was like, yo, that's pretty freaking sick. Because think about it, bro. One, I don't know who the Yankee first baseman is in AAA. I assume that Greg Bird's gonna be starting there, right? If he's productive, and we don't want this to happen at all. I'm just, putting this in your head how Greg Bird could get playing time. If there's an injury to Anthony Rizzo, you then figure DJ slides over as the full-time first baseman.
Yeah.
If there's an injury to Rizzo and say to Donaldson or any other infielder, it doesn't matter the order, injury to Rizzo and another infielder, Greg Bird could actually get called up.
Also, it kind of depends on like how he's performing in AAA, because isn't there also like Ronald Guzman?
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, and that's another thing too, bro. Like, give me Greg Bird over Ronald Guzman.
Well, it depends how they're performing in AAA,
and
right? Like Guzman could be raking.
Yeah, I guess I didn't say it. I meant to say, like, assuming he's productive, and also playing every day, which I assume that he wouldn't sign here with us if he wasn't. Dude, last year Bird had a good year in AAA.
He was really good.
And it really fits like the whole narrative. What has the narrative been the whole time with Bird, bro? When he's healthy, he's going to produce. And he had I don't say only, but he played 112 games and hit drove in 90-something runs, hit 27 bombs. I think he had almost a 900 OPS or some shit. So
dude,
I'm
but
excited.
What is life though? Dude, this is the 2022 Yankee season preview, and we're talking about Greg Bird and Matt.
Bro, we always knew in the end it was going to be Judge and Bird. Come on.
I guess. Don't forget Sevy too,
Also, dude, Bird cracks me up too, because because I was thinking about the whole facial hair thing, right? Bird, his transformation from going from being the Yankees to getting the beard and that long ass, it was just such a cliche thing where the dude gets broken up with by his girlfriend or something. He's sitting on the couch for a month eating fast food, and he's just did you see
but he looked better.
No, he looked badass as shit, but it was just funny because it just went from all the clean, but he's back to that now. I'm excited. We gotta go to freaking Scranton, catch a game for real. Let's do it and see Greg Bird. I'm gonna get his autograph. All right,
we're going then.
And this
we'll interview Greg Bird in Scranton.
I'm not too big into interviews anymore, but sure.
What the? So if we had an option,
I'd rather
just Greg Bird, you wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, I guess he'll just tell us about his cats. That's literally all he'll do. Remember that? But yo, god damn it, bro. This is why we don't do these, because you fucking interrupt me and then oops, there's my F word. Kidding. I had a thought. What was I about to say? Scranton. Go to Scranton. Watch Greg Bird play first.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to move on to the next topic.
Ronald Guzman? I don't know.
No, I don't know. It wasn't really much of Yankees value. It was. Oh. Yeah.
So we're better off then. Okay, so sliding over to second base. This is one that honestly I have no idea what to expect. Is Glaber going to be the starting second baseman? Is DJ going to be I'm assuming it's going to be Glaber.
Are we talking opening day lineup itself?
Yeah, we're talking Friday.
I honestly see, it's so tough when we do these, and you probably may struggle with this too. I feel like everybody does. In my head, I have what I think the lineup will be and what I want it to be. Yeah. And although I try to separate the two, I always end up combining them. DJ's in my opening day lineup, and I actually like the idea of him batting fifth and Donaldson leadoff. When I posted my lineup the other day, apparently Boone said something that I guess I missed that heavily implied Glaber will be starting opening day. I didn't really look for it after, but the more and more I think about it, I guess the Yankees keep talking about DJ going back to the role that he was initially intended on being, where he may miss opening day, but he's still going to get 500 plus plate appearances, whatever. So I figured Glaber will be in the opening day lineup, and they probably figure it's more of he can deal with if it's a self-esteem thing over DJ probably doesn't.
I heard someone, I forgot who said that. It might have been Jack Curry or something, but someone brought up that same point that DJ won't get phased by not playing opening day.
Oh yeah. I exactly. And not that Glaber, I don't think Glaber should at all. And after all, bro, you had a under 700 OPS last year anyway. So, but I think Glaber will be in opening lineup. And then I think what they'll do is I think Hicks could actually end up sitting 2 of the 3 games. I'm not sure if we're talking overall
I
opening
think
day
so
lineup.
too.
I think he could because that way you could have. I mean, it really depends if they want to do Stanton 2 out of 3 in left, or it could be right because
They
you could
might.
also
I
you
think
could, you
Stan will
could
play
DH.
one for sure.
Yes, 100% will play one. I think they'll also DH Donaldson in that game that Stanton plays left, at least one of them, and then that way you can have Deej at third, Glaber at second. Shit. How would I just read you my opening day lineup? Considering I have it written down. I have it written down.
I mean, you have
I
it
always,
written
I
down,
always
so why
struggle with
not?
that. I
Yeah,
like try to
yeah.
come up with it off the top of my head. So this is just what I put out, and like I said, this is probably not going to be because I didn't have Glaber in here, but I had it as Donaldson, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, DJ, Gallo, Hicks, Higgy, IKF. That I feel like is kind of like the standard for the most part of the season. Just opening day that may not end up being the case if they play Glaber.
Yeah, I don't
Some are
have
thinking
one
if
written
Glaber may
down, so
play
I'm
it
not
short.
gonna
I don't think
include
they'll do
Glaber.
that. They'll honestly look like idiots if they do that.
Well,
They'll
apparently
be
he was. Well,
laughing. He's
not
gonna
on
get a
Friday,
lot of
but he
get a lot of
will.
time. He's gonna get a lot of time at short this year, I think, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like a decent amount of time. I don't think they put him their opening day. I think IKF's gonna start their opening day.
No, I agree. But like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like kind of like looking at DJ and Glaber, like I kind of view them in the same light. Like granted, Glaber was a lot worse in his regression. Like, bro, let's not ignore the fact like fans piss on DJ LeMahieu for like his season last year. He wasn't that bad. Like in terms of DJ LeMahieu standards, what we saw in 2019, 2020, yes, he was bad. But in terms of like being a good hitter, he wasn't awful. So I think that he's going to bounce back. I think that Glaber's going to bounce back. I think you look at that second base position. I think that the Yankees have so much upwards potential there in the sense of like, I genuinely think Glaber is not going to like return to 2019 for him because I don't think we're ever going to see that again. But I
Mhm.
think we're going to see an even middle between like what we saw to Glaber last year and what we saw to 2019 Glaber. I want to see like contact Glaber. I don't want to see Glaber trying to hit 40 home runs. I want to see him like try to bat like 280 and hit 25 home runs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like I feel like the problem last year was that he tried to cut down on strikeouts, which he did, and his contact ended up being softer. So like I'd rather Glaber, dude, like swing as hard as you can, try to hit 30 bombs, but like I wouldn't want that to mean he's gonna be like a 200 hitter. No, like if that's what happens, then no, hell no. But I mean, like that's kind of 2018 Glaber then, in a sense, his rookie year. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
he was,
essentially, yeah.
yeah, like I think he hit like what, like 275 that year, and like he had an OPS, I think like maybe an 820 or something. Yo, for me, it's pretty simple. Like if Glaber gives us like 800 is the benchmark OPS, 800 OPS. If he is over an 800 OPS, and even if it ends up being like 780, he's playing solid defense at second base. I'd take that from Glaber. Now, like a
I
couple
agree.
years ago, I would be like, yo, what? But I mean, at this point, like that's the thing. Like there definitely was a difference between like Glaber's bad in 2021 and DJ's bad in 2021. DJ, I feel like, is less concerning in a way because it was just like the whole fly ball thing. Like he was still kind of hitting the ball hard, but he was hitting it on the ground. So like that, I mean, I'm not a hitting coach, but like I feel like that's probably a little more simpler. Just hit the ball in the air compared to like Glaber. I mean, like Glaber last year, like I feel like there was points that he looked kind of like concerningly bad. DJ
Oh,
never
I
looked
know.
concerningly bad. It was like, yo, like what's good, you know?
Yeah, because
So
like we said, like DJ's regression was kind of just like regressing to the mean a little bit, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Flavors was just like bad.
Yeah, and both of them have looked good in the spring. So I mean,
I
and
agree.
like I'm not even doing stats, it's just like the way they look. So I'm excited.
Like attractiveness.
Well, I think yeah, Glaber's attractive. I like the little eye cut thing he does. The
Glaber's an attractive dude. Like if
no,
we're
he
just
is,
throwing it out
especially
there,
when
yeah.
he's not like 20 pounds overweight. And DJ,
What the?
he's a dude. That's always bothered me about Glaber, and I love Glaber. I mean, like, listen, he's in fucking. He could beat the shit out of me. He's way better shape than I am. Well, you don't know about that, but he's definitely in better shape than me. So that said, I've never understood that for being like the top prospect of the Yankees, like he's kind of always had a kind of a thick, especially like from like
Yo, but I
20
hate
to
when people,
21.
bro. I hate when people say this because like people say the same thing about Gary.
No,
Gary
but
is in no
I
sense
never
of the
said that
word
about Gary.
fat.
No, no. When Gary wore a baggy jersey, that's different. Glaber, that's not the case. And the Yankees have talked about this publicly.
Glaber's a little chubby.
No, no.
Like,
Well, now I think he looks a lot better.
oh
But
yeah,
it's been an issue in it's 2020. Like it's known he came into camp overweight, which it was just kind of irritating me. Like you're the shortstop of the Yankees, and I'd say that about anybody. But yeah. Forget what
fair. I don't know why Not So Family Fun Vision said Dan stop talking about Pat. Like, dude, what?
Yeah, Pat, you're overweight, bro.
I'm just gonna cry. But yo, shortstop, IKF. I assume that he's gonna be the Yankees' predominant shortstop this year. Like we said, Glaber is gonna get some time there. I think he's gonna get a decent amount of time, but I think Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is gonna be the Yankees' everyday shortstop for
For
the
sure.
most part. I'm gonna be honest, like obviously not like the most attractive pick that the Yankees could have went with shortstop this offseason. When you look at all the people on the board, bro, Correa, Seager, Story, Semien, the Yankees got Isaiah Kiner for left. I'm at the point where it's like, yo, no sense on harping on any of that. He's our starting shortstop. I'm gonna root for him. I'm gonna hope that he does well. But I can't say the expectations are too high offensively. You know what you're kind of gonna get defensively, like Gold Glove shortstop. So I think like we're in a good position as far as that goes. But I'm not expecting much of anything offensively from him. He could be a huge surprise and be like Gio, where like all of a sudden he just discovers like some sort of offensive outburst, which is definitely possible.
He's
But
looked good in spring.
yeah, I mean, I don't have those expectations for him.
I don't either. Yeah, no, I don't either. The way I see it is this. I mean, I think he had like an 85 OPS plus last year, which for those who don't know, that means he was 15% below a league average hitter. So I figure we're probably gonna get right around there. Like, I don't think he's gonna be a league average hitter. I don't think he's gonna like, but the thing is, you know, people will compare him to say like the Yankees basically have Rougned Odor, but better defensively playing shortstop. Because Odor had an 85 OPS plus last year. Falefa had an 85 OPS plus last year. And I'm just using that example because the way I see it, even though IKF isn't a great hitter, his style of hitting, although not that great, fits the Yankees lineup better than, say, like a Rougned Odor or another player that,
Sure.
while may still produce offensively, like the same level, like with the way the Yankees lineup is fleshed out, IKF is something that I'm excited about. Like, I kind of have like lightened up my tune a little bit on strikeouts. Like when evaluating like an individual player, like that's never something I'm really going to hold against somebody. But when like talking about like lineup construction, like I do think you got, and that's where Rizzo is a plus too. He doesn't strike out as much, and he's going to bat in the middle of the order. So like to have IKF at the bottom and not strike out, like be a contact hitter, I think that's a plus. But I'm not going to expect anything too crazy offensively.
Yeah, no, I think you set the bar low for him, and then kind of just like whatever happens, happens. You know.
And it's kind, yeah, it's
Um,
kind of like it's the same deal with Higgy, where it's just like, yo, give us good
yeah.
defense, and then we'll go from there. You know.
Yeah, the expectation isn't for him to be a great hitter, but if he can become a great hitter, we'll take it, you know?
Yeah. No, for sure.
But yo, third base, this is a guy who we kind of are expecting to be a great hitter for the Yankees. Josh Donaldson. I'm gonna be honest with
I'm
you, like
excited for him, bro. I love
yeah,
Josh Donaldson.
when we first found out the Yankees acquired him, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Like, I didn't know he was still such a good hitter. Like
I
looking
feel
at
like a
his
lot of people, and then they look
dude,
at the
I thought he
stats
was
like, oh
completely
shit,
washed. Yeah, I thought he was
man.
completely washed, but kind of like
Because he
looking
had
at
a
his
couple
numbers,
years
he's
where
really good still.
he had a couple years where like I think it was more so like injury plagued
Yeah,
years that like his production wasn't amazing. But yeah, no, last year I think he played like what like 130 something games and like he had an OPS I'm pretty sure of like 850 or whatever, and like all his peripherals were really good. So yeah, dude, no, Josh Donaldson, if he's healthy, which that's like really the only if with him, like he's gonna hit, and his
yeah,
defense at least like according to like defensive metrics is better than Gio. Whatever you want to do with that, Ken. But yeah, no, I'm pumped for Donaldson. And like, dude, the main thing is like the whole edge does a lot for me. Like, I
sure.
do like buy into that. The Yankees, and I think you do too. Like, they lacked something in the room last year, And Cashman himself has said that.
We've
And I
said
feel like
that,
it's
yeah.
not too often that like a GM will say that about like the clubhouse or just say that the team like needed edge. I mean, like they'll say it, but like it was kind of like with CC, in 09, but in a different way, not edge. They just needed to change it, like the feel of the clubhouse. Like Donaldson, like he may get in some people's face, whether it's like the opposing teammates or like guys in like the Yankees clubhouse. So like from like every aspect, I'm pumped about him.
No, I really like it. Yeah, like you said, it kind of just really depends on his health because he has had like some health concerns over the last couple of years, if that's what you want to call them. But I mean, he's pretty good defensively at third too, right?
He
Like you
is.
said, he's
That's what I'm
kind of like
saying.
better
He
defensively
grades
than
better.
Gio
Yeah.
metrically. I know
Yeah.
with the eye test, like it might tell a different
Metrics
story,
always
but
messed up Gio though. I do
yeah,
kind of believe that.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, Josh Donaldson, he could definitely provide the Yankees with like that edge that they needed. Granted, like I wish they could have gotten that edge in like a Carlos Correa, which I mean, dude, I'm not gonna harp on it, but it's still so weird to me. Like looking at the money that they're giving Donaldson compared to like the contract that Correa got, like it's not that huge of a difference. I'm not gonna get like so into it, but the acquisition's still a little bit weird to me. I hope it makes sense as the season goes on, like in terms of like Donaldson really producing. Um, but
Can
yeah,
I
I mean,
well, let me real quick. The whole thing about the like, are you talking about like the money? Is that part of it that didn't
I'm
make sense?
talking like, yo, Donaldson's getting 50 million over the next 2 years. Like Correa got like what, like 100 over 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the Yankees knew Correa was going to sign a 3-year deal, I think they would have been more interested. They just already had Donaldson at that point. Like, I feel like that would just not make any sense if they weren't.
That's what I'm saying.
But I
Like,
feel like it's may just been like the timeline. So from that aspect, I understand. But money wise, I don't get concerned about it because we're in the period now where like the Yankees, they spent for 2 years and they reset the third year. So like money essentially isn't an issue over the next this year and next.
You'd
So
like
like,
to think. You'd like to think so.
well, yeah, but I mean, they've been consistent with that, like where they spend for 2 years and then reset the tax in the third, and they just reset the tax. So like, I don't think this like if this were a move that would stop them from doing other moves, like money wise, then I'd be irritated. But I don't think it's going to do that. And like when
We'll
you're getting
talk
a
about
player
that
as
shortly.
okay, what
If
want
you
Soto?
no, you know
Oh,
where I'm going with
I
it. Yeah.
I do. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Do you?
Well, yeah, now I do.
Are you
I was
sure?
yeah, I just saw a Soto for a second because I've seen like not rumors, but like some like
No, I've
weird
saw people
articles.
say, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes no sense, but whatever.
yeah.
But yo, moving out to left field, bro. First of all, like I think the Yankees outfield looks friggin' beautiful. Like I think the Yankees outfield might be the best in baseball, and that's not even like me being like, oh, Yankee bias, whatever. It's one of the
I
best
can't.
in baseball by far.
I'd have to look at depth
I'd
chart.
have to look too, but I'm going off the top of
But
my head.
what are we saying? Are we saying like Judge in center and then Gallo in left,
Yeah,
and right that outfield? Yeah.
bro, it's hot.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
dude. All right, let's just go like position by position. Left field, Joey Gallo, because I'm assuming he's going to spend the most time out there. I am banking on such a huge rebound season from Joey Gallo this year, bro. I've seen some people throw out like MVP candidate. I'm not gonna go that far, but I think he's gonna have a huge bounce back season. Granted, bro, he's still gonna have his strikeouts and bat for a
I
low
think he's
batting
gonna
average.
be.
Who cares, bro? The Yankees aren't expecting him to bat 250. I think that he will give the Yankees solid on base production. I think he's going to absolutely mash having a full season at Yankee Stadium. I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable. I think they're going to have a set position for him in the lineup, probably in the middle of the order, and not bat him leadoff where he was uncomfortable last year. I think that he is going to flourish this year with the Yankees, and I am so damn excited to see a Gold Glove left fielder who can hit 40 home runs a year with ease.
And that's a huge difference maker. I feel like a lot of people like that aren't fans of Gallo dismiss is like it's not like this dude is hitting 220 and then like you
Yeah.
just stick him out and left and
Like
he's
Chris
ass.
Carter.
Like this dude plays like gold. I mean, I don't want to say gold glove caliber defense because like what gold glove clearly doesn't mean anything anymore. But like, dude is elite in left field. And yeah, dude, like I don't expect anything more. Like I don't understand the whole MVP thing. I mean, WAR definitely helps him out a lot. I just think we're gonna get exactly what he's really always been when talking over a large sample size. He's gonna hit 220, probably at least a 350 on base, and he'll hit 40 homers.
Yeah.
And once again, while playing good defense in left field. So like I'm pumped for Gallo. And the fact it's free agent year, contract year. So like
Wait, is it actually?
it is, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Some people think they may try to extend him, like possibly, but that would like if they could get him at like a cheap cost. But I don't know. I feel like the Yankees probably also want to see like if he can like I do wonder how confident the Yankees are like how good Gallo's gonna be for them.
I don't think it would be. I don't think they would extend him before he hits free agency. I don't. It could be like a Chapman kind of thing, like where like he
I
becomes a
don't
free
think they
agent and
would
then like
either, but like I also could be like talked into it to where it makes sense. Like if we're talking like a value standpoint, like if you buy into how good Joey Gallo is over like a full season, like if you get him on a cheaper price, then yeah, but it's not gonna happen anyways. We got another extension to worry about.
we'll talk about that in a second. But yo, center field, Aaron Hicks.
In
Listen,
great shape. He's in great shape.
he's in great shape. We know what to expect from Aaron Hicks when he's like healthy, right? And we thought we were gonna get that in 2021 when he was healthy for the most part. But when he was healthy, he just wasn't productive. I
It
don't
was a
know,
small
Aaron.
enough sample size. So I throw out 2021. Like I don't know. I
Yo,
feel
but
like
still, I have super. I think out of everyone in the Yankees lineup, Aaron Hicks is probably the one like going into 2022. I have the lowest expectations for,
yeah, 100%.
right?
I think he's the worst player in the lineup.
Yeah,
Like when
and but
talking about just overall player, like you factor in defense. That's a big thing that I'm kind of concerned about with Hicks. I feel like the Yankees kind of like think that Hicks is still like an elite center fielder when he's a negative center fielder. Actually, like not even just talking about his arm, which I feel like is not even I feel like. I mean, since Tommy John, his arm wasn't the same, and he's definitely lost a step too, bro. I feel like in center. So
100%.
whether we're talking offense or defense, like I'm not that thrilled about Hicks going into set, but I'm also like excited in a way, excited / curious to like see what he does, because
Well,
there is a world where like if Hicks is healthy, I mean he could like be like a 800 OPS guy. I'm not expecting that at all. If he honestly, if Hicks hits like gives us like a 760 OPS, I might consider that a win. To be honest, I don't think he's our center fielder. To be honest, by playoffs.
Yeah, but like here's my thing, right? Like the Yankees have a prime opportunity where like let's say Hicks like isn't good, where they could throw Judge out there and then Stanton and Wright and then have like a killer outfield.
Yeah.
But what I'm kind of disappointed with this offseason, which we discussed, I think, on the last Pat and Dan show, like right after the season ended. I really wanted the Yankees to get themselves a center fielder. Because it seems like it's been such a hole for them the last couple years, like
Mm,
between Hicks and Gardner and Greg Allen and Tim LeCastro, who's not even gonna be on the Yankees bench to start the season. We're gonna get to that.
yeah, word.
But I don't know. I feel like the Yankees just never really seem to solidify center field. And I think Aaron Hicks has been like a huge reason for that. Whatever the reason is, like they still have a lot of faith in him that he's still maybe the player that he used to be. But I
Well,
don't know. I think this might be his last chance until the Yankees like finally decide like, yo, we need a legitimate center fielder.
I think he'll at least be good enough to like I would be fine if Hicks was like our backup outfielder. Hell yeah.
Bro, I wanted him to be the
100%.
fourth outfielder
Me
so
too.
bad.
I know.
Especially because he could play all three outfield positions too. It would have been perfect.
Yeah. The only thing is like center field, there wasn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. There wasn't too much available. I know there was Starling Marte. I would have been excited for him, but I didn't really expect the Yankees to get him. And I mean, Brian Reynolds. I always said I wanted him, but like
I
realistically
know.
speaking, like the Pirates are dumb, but like would they be dumb enough to trade a guy that has like 3 years left of control? So I don't know. There
Yeah.
wasn't too much available. I mean, there was also Ramon Laureano, but he still has a PED suspension, I think, right? So I don't know. I rather than just like I would be totally cool. Like, why not just put Gallo out in center every day and then keep or Judge in center if you wanted to? That's fine with me. But they're
Bro, Judge
and
has
then
been really good in center when they put him out there.
yeah, no, I mean Judge was drafted as a center fielder, bro. Like he's totally fine out there. Like he could play 100. Like he could play 100 and however many games you want him to play. He'd be
But
fine.
I think the question is like, would the Yankees want to?
Yeah, and I don't blame them for like whether you think he's injury prone or not. I don't think anybody can reasonably think that now, but
Oh
like
no.
it's a with anybody, like you don't if you want to keep them on the field, you want them roaming like as least ground possible. So I don't blame them for not wanting to do that, but like he's certainly capable, and so is Gallo. So if
Fair.
they
No,
wanted to,
no.
they could just word Stanton in left, Gallo in center / Judge or Judge and right, and then you could DH Donaldson if you want to get another infielder. And like this is all still relevant stuff because come trade deadline, when like if we need to add a bat, like that could be what we do. Whereas, all right, say there's a third baseman that's available that we want, or somebody that can play third base, DH Donaldson, and then stands a full time left. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so
No, it's fair for sure. I mean, listen, speaking of Judge, he's kind of like the last guy to go around the diamond here.
clock's
Dan,
ticking, bro.
we
Clock
have a
is ticking.
lot to say about Aaron Judge. First of all, like before we like talk about any sort of like extension stuff or like what's going on with that, I say we kind of just like throw out what we're expecting from Judge in 2022. And to be honest with you, I'm expecting nothing less than like an MVP caliber season, like
Oh yeah,
2017 esque.
I think it comes down to will Shohei repeat? If is that going to be the only
I
thing
think,
that
yeah,
stops him from winning MVP?
yeah,
Like, and a lot of this honestly does depend. If we're entering the MVP conversation, which I'm behind 100%. It really comes down to Otani. Now, I mean, if Trout stays healthy, obviously he's going to be a runaway any year. But like, how is the voting going to go with Otani? Is something that I really wonder. And I know we're not going to get too into this, but is it going to be a thing where if Otani just hits well and pitches well every single year, is he going to be the MVP the rest of his life? That's never how it works in
I
sports.
was thinking
So
that too. Yeah,
it's never how it works. So basically, Otani would have to probably repeat and then some. Vlad would have to go on another insane offensive year, which is, obviously quite possible, probably likely. But when playing first base, WAR is a big factor of that. Like you don't get too much more benefits being a first baseman. Vlad would have to go off. Bro, it's there for Judge. Like all he really needs to do, stay healthy and don't get COVID, which is still stay healthy. So
yeah,
like
and that's why, I think the
if
Otani thing
Judge
is really interesting because like you said, it's like I think in order for him to win it again, like he would have to replicate or do more from what he did last season. I don't see that as being
I,
doable.
yeah, me too. And like that's why like I think it's
He
good
set
that
the bar
everybody
so high
I
for
think it's
himself,
good that
right?
like we really I feel like as a sport, like we did appreciate Otani while it was happening. It was one of those things like, oh, nobody appreciated. No, we appreciated
Yeah.
it. And that's good that we did because like I don't think like that's gonna be tough for it to happen again, especially back-to-back years. So like I'm gonna have to see it like to believe that Otani's gonna replicate. And then yeah, I mean, dude, if if Judge doesn't get COVID last year, because you got to factor in like the Judge has always kind of has some IL rust. So like 10 games he lost with COVID, and then like the extra like 5 or 6 he had getting his swing back. Like if he just has those games, Judge is probably hitting like 44 homers, like 105, 110 RBIs. I mean, his numbers are still really good last year. But like, point is, he was already like basically like one more little Judge stretch away from being right on Vlad's level. And if I had to pick a guy, bias aside, to put up like MVP caliber offense in 2022, I think Judge is a safer bet than Vlad. Judge is a safer bet, I think, than anybody not named Mike Trout. And who knows
Fair.
about Trout? I mean, Trout, dude, he's 32 years. I think he's 30, 31, 32, getting there. Like, there is going to be a time where he's no longer like the go-to best player in baseball. I mean, you could say that right now if
No,
you
I feel
wanted
like we're
to.
at the. I mean, the dude
I
hasn't played in like
still
2
think like,
years.
if you go by like best, I mean, best hitter is probably Soto, but like just talking American League, I think if Trout's healthy, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He probably would win it. But those people are always saying Judge had injury concerns. Trout's way worse.
Bro,
So
I
I'm gonna
think
give
this season
Trout the same
determines
treatment.
it.
What?
I think this season determines like whether or not Trout is still the best player of baseball. If
I
he
think
like gets hurt
now we're at the
again,
point.
bro, like
Now we're at the point. If he misses time again, then like you can't.
no, you
But
can't.
because his production was still there. I mean, he still had like a really good year, but like I think he only played like 40 games or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like predict whether or not he's gonna stay healthy, but point is like the lane is very much there for Judge to win it this year. Like more than any year, I feel like going in.
I agree. But yo, Dan. We're speaking about Aaron Judge here. He's still not extended.
Yeah, he is not extended, which kind of surprises me a little bit, but I'm still remaining optimistic that he is by tomorrow. We still got tomorrow, bro.
You think okay, if like you had to place a bet right now, right? Gun to your head, does Aaron Judge get extended before opening day? Yeah?
I'm gonna say yeah. As of right now, I mean, it's like I'm like probably like 60-40 at this point. No, I'll say 70-30, 70-30. Like it's just been like it's been too quiet, and I just feel like it's been like there's been a lot of just like little things. Now, like nothing to do with the Beltran stuff. I actually think that was probably like a pure mistake, but just like even the Cashman's comments, how he wouldn't comment on whether or not he was extended. Like, I mean, I figure they're probably talking right now. They'll be talking through the rest of the day tomorrow. Like, we haven't heard any like negative rumors that, oh, Judge walked out or like Judge is saying this. Like, both sides have handled it pretty well. I mean, like, you go back as recently as like DJ's negotiations. There was some, remember, like DJ felt like dismayed by the Yankees' lack of urgency or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, nothing like that has come out with Judge, so.
But I feel like it wouldn't with Judge.
Well, no, that's why he's one of the best humans on the planet. He's classy as hell. But like what I'm saying is that like what we know is going on is negotiations, whether it's going smooth or not. I would lean that they're going smooth because we haven't heard all that much, if that makes sense. Because when things are usually going well for the Yankees, when the Yankees are about to make a move, they're actually typically quiet. Like they don't usually let too much get out. So I don't know. I feel like, and also it just makes too much sense. Like it makes no sense why they wouldn't sign him. Too.
Well, Dan, now that we're at this point, right? Like you remember like the huge debate we had last season as far as like the Yankees extending Aaron Judge. And I was like, yo,
trading him.
I'm completely opposed to it. I don't like extending players. But now we're at the point where I think an Aaron Judge extension is like a must. You know what I mean?
Especially when they didn't unload any money in the offseason.
Bro, that's exactly it. Because my biggest fear was like the Yankees were going to extend Judge. And because of that, they weren't going to spend any money this offseason. They didn't spend any money this offseason regardless. So now the least you could do is extend your franchise.
Dude, I'm with you. No, 100%. Like I was saying like they don't have an excuse anyways. But like now you really don't have an excuse. Like you have to. Like unless Judge is asking for like over $300 million, which that would be ridiculous, and he's not asking for that. Like there's no reason not to sign him. Like
that's what I'm saying, bro. Give him his
what
money.
He is. And here's the thing: the Yankees know this. I assume that's why they're probably trying to lock him down. If Judge hits the open market, there is going to be a team that gives him $250 million.
100%. Bro, there's going to be multiple teams. Yeah,
100%. Like
Anthony Rendon, to LA.
Anthony Rendon got 245 over 7 entering his age. I think it was 32 season or 31 season. Yeah. So I mean, the Yankees know that, and it could end up being even more. So I think my prediction this whole time has been 220 mil. Whether or not that's over 7 years or 8 years, I don't think the years will ultimately matter. I think it's just when Judge probably has a number in his head or a relative number in his head, 220 would be it, and then the Yankees may want to just tack on an extra year like they did with DJ or whatever. But I think the number in the end, if they extend him by opening day or this season, whatever, 220 mil is my prediction. And I think that is going to happen. That is going to happen.
Can we also like just agree that like Judge shouldn't give the Yankees any sort of like hometown discount here? Because what we have to realize is, this is a lot of like big free agents like Carlos Correa, for example, right? They will get multiple large contracts throughout their career. This is Aaron Judge's one and only chance to get a massive deal to set him for life, right? Because I doubt that he's going to get another one after this. He
may get like a 1-year DH type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Besides,
this is Judge's time to capitalize. And like for a guy that's been your franchise superstar for the last 5 years, give him every penny that he wants because you're not giving that money to anyone else. So why not give it to him? Like
I
it's
mean,
just
yeah,
annoying at this point.
I have no problem with them negotiating, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I think there's no way. Like, if I'm Judge, I'm not even like talking unless the number starts with 2. Like, I feel like that's a given. He's getting over 200 mil because
Yeah.
I've seen some people throw offers like 180. I haven't seen the last couple of weeks. Like
Or
a lot
like
of people,
five
honestly,
150.
yeah, like a lot of people have agreed with me, but also a lot of people have like called me crazy when I threw the number 220. Like, we're entering, like, the more we talk about it right now, I'm thinking like, shit, should I bump it up to 230? Because like
Yeah.
it depends. I mean, there's a difference between like a hometown discount and also just like getting a respectable offer from the club that you want to be with already, to where like you just don't want to have negotiations persist. Like, I think 220 is the number that like is reasonable for the Yankees to offer, and then I think Judge would accept. Anything less, I mean, like, there's no, like, you can't be like, who would leave like 40-50 million dollars on the table? And if they offer him 200 million, like, that wouldn't even be enough, because like I said, he can get 250 or more
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
think
I want
that
to reiterate, that's what I say. Like, I think they are going to get it done by tomorrow, by this time tomorrow.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. I hope that they do. Am I necessarily as confident as you are? No. But we'll see. We'll see. I
No,
hope I'm
I'm
like
not
pleasantly surprised.
100% on it, but like, I I'm pretty confident. I really am. But also too, I mean, like, I feel nauseous even thinking about deadlines anymore after that, but like, after the lockout. But like, what is this an actual deadline? Because I feel like even Lindor last year, didn't they like they didn't agree to a deal, and then like the day of opening day or something like that, it happened. Point is,
Was it?
like, so maybe not, but like you're saying, if like, I'm thinking like, if the Yankees offered Judge 220 or 30 million on April 5th, is he just not going to take that because like the season started?
Well,
No.
I don't think that they would do that during the season. I think that would
Not
be a
not in April.
massive
That was just an example.
distraction.
That was just an example.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
Maybe
know.
during the
I
All-Star
mean,
break. I don't know.
you
We'll
at
see.
least figure they're like, you have to figure they're talking right now, and like through the
I mean, you would have to figure, but
month.
I think I'm just a little bit discouraged by the fact that like it's taken so long.
Yeah,
Like, because clearly, like, because I think it
it's
was like
definitely
last
possible he's not
week.
extended. It definitely is.
Last
I still think he is.
last week we heard that the Yankees were making him an offer, right? And clearly that offer was not respectable enough to the point where like Judge was like, yeah, that's perfect. Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
obviously that's not how negotiations usually work, but I'm based on what we've seen from the Yankees, I'm led to believe that they're definitely lowballing him. I mean, that's obviously like no insider information. That's just me inferring that the Yankees are
yeah,
lowballing Judge, and he's like, "Yo, do you not realize what I'm worth on the open market?" So I don't know.
yeah. I'm gonna keep it at just like, I think the negotiations are just going well right now. Like, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that, like, because nothing is leaked out, and I feel like both sides will be happy with the deal. Like, I just feel like this is just too easy to like not mess up. So I'm just gonna keep the faith. It's going well. They're
We'll see.
negotiating. Contract
Dan,
done
I
by
like the
tomorrow, bro.
positivity. I like
And
the
hey,
positivity.
hey, I know what we want, but do you think he's gonna be named captain? If they extend him, like, if we get an announcement he's extended tomorrow, whatever, like, do you think captain comes with that?
Like this is like the same thing we talked about before between like what you want and what you expect. Would I want him to be named captain? Yeah, 1000%, dude. Do I think it'll happen? No.
Really?
Yeah.
I obviously want him to be named captain. I think it's like pretty likely.
You think?
Just from like, 'cause it's a
It
lot of
just
it's like
doesn't seem like something that the current Yankees would do.
a lot of it's like a marketing thing too. I mean, like, you look back, like, I was looking into like how like Jeter's thing, like, they also like, they really make a big deal out of it. Like, there'll be a press conference and everything, which is cool.
Bro, it would be massive.
It'd be
Like
awesome.
naming Aaron Judge captain of the
I mean,
Yankees. But
it's the thing to
also,
do.
yo, what we have to realize is that's something that like would have I don't think that that's something that could be done like a day before opening day. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that would have had to have
True.
been planned out. Like that's
True.
something that would happen like after the season ends. You know what I mean?
No, that's true. I hadn't really thought about that, because like they would do like a press conference, and
Yeah,
unless it's
that's a
all enrolled
huge
tomorrow.
thing.
Yeah.
That's not just like, yo, Aaron Judge is captain of the Yankees. Like, no, that's dude. That's something that they would
They
have to
could always
market all
extend. So
offseason.
maybe it's one of those things where like he's extended and then they name him captain in the offseason, which would be lame. But I still think at some point, assuming he's locked up long term, which I do think that'll happen, I think he'll be named captain at some
Bro, I
point.
really like the idea of like the C on the jersey though. I see you
I
throwing it
think
out
it's
there all the
fucking
time, bro. It's
awesome, dude.
hot.
I
It's
think it's
hot.
awesome. It would look so sick on Judge, because Judge is
And
just badass
bro,
looking, dude.
I'm usually like not a huge fan of it. Like, yo, the Varitek one was absolutely
Everybody
like,
always,
atrocious,
dude.
bro.
I didn't even know Veritek had that until I first like made that picture or whatever. Because there was like, oh,
Disturbing,
there's some
bro.
Veritek vibes. I'm like, why does everybody keep saying that? I didn't even know he was a captain of the Red Sox. And I just saw it before. Yeah, no, it was gross looking, but like that C looked nice on.
I know. No, I
But they've
like it
never
on the
done it.
scene.
That I can almost guarantee. And I know you agree. That'll never happen. They wouldn't do that.
No. Yeah, whatever.
Especially we're gonna be getting freaking advertisements on jerseys soon. Which that I don't know how you feel. I
Uh,
hate that shit, bro.
dude. Okay, so here's my thing. I'm not gonna judge it too much because I said the same thing about the Nike logo when it first went on.
Oh, so no, people use that against me, saying like, "Oh, everybody said that." Like, not me. I love the Nike logo from day one since the day it was announced. I think it looks sick on the jerseys. Now, I'm not saying I won't get over the advertisements. Like, I will. I'm not
We'll
gonna like
forget
lose
about
sleep
it.
over. But it's just like, bro, I don't have to like lose sleep over something to be like. Just don't
Yeah,
like it
no,
anymore.
sure.
Like, you put fucking Kellogg's logo on the Yankee jersey. Like, what are we doing? You know?
No, I know. But yo, going over to DH real quick. Giancarlo Stanton. There's not too much to say about him. Just the fact that I think we're gonna see him play the field a lot more this year, which is something I'm super hyped for. And also I think that Stanton's just gonna have a massive year. I obviously don't think he's gonna be able to replicate what he did late in the season last year. For the entirety of the season, but I think we can definitely see Stanton hit like 40 plus this year, like without a
Oh, yeah.
doubt.
No, for sure. I mean, if he's healthy, yeah, if he's playing like 100 and how many games you got him playing?
I would say 130.
I'd say yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna go for like 145. So yeah, I mean, I feel like if he doesn't hit 40 homers, it'd be kind of odd. He hit 35 last year, still had a really good year.
Bro,
Stan,
I
there's
feel
honestly
like
not much for me to say on because like I kind of just like we know what we're getting. Like
yeah, and
Stan's a
also,
beast.
yo,
He's the
I
man.
feel like a lot of people like are kind of like I don't want to say like taking Stanton for granted, but it's kind of weird because yo, like in the span of like I want to say like a year, like look at how everyone's mentality of Stanton just totally different, right? Stanton was
Mhm.
probably the most hated Yankee for a very probably like 3 years, right? He was easily the most hated Yankee,
Yeah.
like maybe more than Gary. And now, like after what we saw him do, not only in the postseason in 2020, but also like in the second half of last season,
Mhm.
bro, all the people who hated him, like they just can't anymore. Like you know what you're
Yeah.
gonna get out of him, and there's no questioning that.
You know what's a big part of that too? I think like you look across town, see what happened with Lindor. Like basically the Mets Stanton away when you go by a star player, big contract. And he actually underperformed. People say Stan underperformed in his first year.
Yeah,
Lindor actually did underperform, and like the antics and everything. Like Stan's been, I know the injuries, but Stan's been a really good player for us. And the whole entire time during the lows, during the highs, he has handled New York perfectly. And that's something that like can't really say about Lindor. So like when you see like the bad example right across the street, and like you look back at Stanton, who performed really well this year and continued to handle the media well, like what isn't there to love about
yeah,
him?
and
And I'm pumped. I really am. Like it's just my main thing that I really like about Stanton is that like he, like, just having him and Judge be like the guys, I think is just the coolest thing.
no, a hunt,
Like
bro, and
it's legitimately sick. Like to have that be like there's no like debate in what like the marketing team has to do. Like they know it's Judge and Stan. Judge and Stanton on everything. Like they are the face of the team, and it's just sick.
yeah, and also, yo, can we just like acknowledge the fact? I know you might not like this because I think you're gonna take it the wrong way,
Is it the
but I
nickname?
no. I'm looking at like the Yankees roster, like over the last like 2 seasons or whatever, right? And obviously, like Aaron Judge has been the best player, but I think if we're looking like at the player that's provided like the most oomph, like in terms of like carrying the team with like clutch moments and shit, like bro, Stanton leads the pack by far.
I'll tell you what I said in I just released my Yankees starting lineup preview, and one of the things I said was like when talking about his clutch moments, there was one guy to have up in a clutch moment. I could pick one guy, including Judge. I'm going Stan. Now,
Yeah,
I mean, if you give me Judge, I'm not crying at all. Like
and
it's very
imagine you
Judge
said that in
and
2019,
and
bro.
oh yeah, and Judge was clutch as shit last year. I know you know that, but just putting it out there, like Judge had a very clutch year as well. But Stanton, bro, like he's just got a little bit of that like magic in him or
Bro,
something,
it's
where
that
it's like
edge,
some movie shit. Yeah, no, for sure. He's
dude,
the
dude,
man,
dude.
bro. And like speaking of Lindor, like that what at City last year when
Yeah,
I don't even remember what caused it again. Like
it,
said we were whistling or something, and he was like,
yeah.
"Yo, you talk whatever." Like that was sick. Like he's got the guy's back. I love that.
Bro, I love Stan.
I love him,
Bro, I
bro.
love this
He's the
team.
man, bro. Now, dude, this team's really likable, bro. They really, really are. And
I
like,
know.
I'm just that's what's so exciting about like this year, bro, is because like the vibes are there. You could notice it in 17, 19, you more so notice it in April that like they were just like a fun group. But like from the get-go this year, just that nothing bad has happened, knock on wood. And like, what was that thing they were doing a couple weeks ago where we just I forget what it was. We saw them like having fun on the field, and it was like, yo, oh, this is
Yeah.
new.
It was
And just like
the coaches were doing something.
yeah, and they seem to they like each other, and just like
It's good, bro.
there's
No,
much more of like it's the roster seems more like constructed as a team rather than just like really good players, which that
fair.
might sound like me trying to cope, which in some ways maybe it is. I don't know. But like they definitely are a team. Like the way like we look at 1 through 9, it looks like like players that can like bounce off each other in the lineup and play well together. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I agree. But yo, like we're already 50 minutes in. We still got to hit on like the starting pitching and the bullpen real quick.
Word.
But yo, as far as like starting pitching goes, I don't necessarily know how to feel, right? Because the way I view it, it might be like ironic to say it because it seems like everyone's saying this, but it's Garrett Cole, and the way I view it is 4 question marks. Granted, like Monty, you kind of know what you're gonna get, but I view him as like a number 4. He's nothing special.
Oh,
But
see,
Sevy,
stop.
I know you're the biggest Monty lover, bro. He does
I'm
nothing
not
for
even.
me.
I'm just go on.
But yo,
We haven't
Sevy,
disagreed much today, so I'm
no,
excited
I
for
know, I know, I know.
this.
Sevy's essentially your number 2. I have absolutely no hopes for him. Granted, like, bro, Sevy's cool when healthy, but I just have no hope the dude's gonna stay healthy over a course of 162. Your 3, I guess, is gonna be Tyone. Another huge question mark. It's like, yo, what are we gonna get out of him? Are we gonna get the good Tyone, the bad Tyone, the healthy Tyone, the injured Tyone? Who knows? And then number 5 is gonna be Nestor, who I hate to say it, but I'm
Nestor's a
viewing him
question
as a
mark.
fluke. I'm viewing Nestor as a huge fluke. I know that he's like such a lovable guy. You love the mustache. He has a cool windup, but I have no faith that he'll be able to replicate what he did last season.
I no Nestor, I'll give you. Not that like I think was a fluke. I'll admit that like
Huge
there's
potential though.
no for sure. Like I don't know with him, but yeah, obviously Cole, we know what he's gonna be. Sevy, bro, like one, I'm not all that worried about his health to be honest, because like you know I don't just look at like if a guy gets Tommy John, which is pretty common nowadays with pitchers. If a guy gets Tommy John, that doesn't all of a sudden make me think he's just like susceptible to injuries 24/7. Like basically all the injuries that Sevy has had dating back to 2019 have essentially all been related to Tommy John. He had like that forearm issue. He had the issue, and I think that led to whatever happened in the 2019 ALCS, which I think was the torn UCL. So kind of was all related. To me, it's one injury. So I don't think he's gonna like not be able to stay healthy for the most part this year. I think they'll put him on an innings limit. Like I think Tyone pitched around 150 in his first year back from Tommy John last year. Figure that's probably what we'll get from Sevy. 2, like when healthy, like Sevy's obviously been elite. Like there's no reason for me to expect when we see the stuff is there, if he's going to be healthy, I'm expecting like 2017, 2018 Severino. I think there'll be a little bit of rust like there was with Tyone last year, which like we'll get into. Like I think it'll take a little bit, but like once he finds it, like I think we'll have like I really think by the playoffs, by like the trade deadline, to be honest, I think the Yankees will have the best 1-2 punch in the American League. Like concrete firm on that.
I mean, dude, that's bold as hell to say. Like,
I think by then
especially
Sevy will,
because
if Sevy's healthy, which like I said, I'm not all that worried about.
yeah, but bro, like I'm viewing Sevy, not obviously like the same talent wise, but like Aaron Hicks, this is his like last chance to be like a solidified piece with the Yankees, right? This is Sevy's last chance to be in the Yankees rotation. If he gets hurt again, he's destined to be a bullpen piece. And I wouldn't be mad at that because I think that he's awesome out of the bullpen. But I think if Sevy has another injury where he has to miss time this season, you can't
The
bring
dude
him
even
back as
just
a
had
starter
Tommy
again.
John though. Like that's all you got to think. He just had Tommy John.
Yeah, but
Like
bro, I don't think you could bring him back as a starter again if he gets hurt again. I just don't.
I mean, no, sure, but I'm saying I don't think I think people are having a little too much like worry about him. I mean, which is fine. I mean, I know he had like general soreness the other day or whatever, but
It's just a lot to bank on him being healthy.
I don't like the word bank. I agree with you. I don't want to bank on Sevy, but like I anticipate if he's healthy, which I'm not all that worried about, come like July, we're talking about the best 1-2 punch in baseball in America in the American League, not in baseball. Moving on, Jordan Montgomery. I was looking to his stats last night. One, his regular like his overall numbers were pretty solid. He had like a 3.8 ERA, which I agree on the servers. Like that's not number like 3 potential. But Monty's the type of guy that like, and this doesn't bother me. Tanaka's the same way. We'll have like clunkers in there, so it really inflates his ERA. From I believe it was May 20 something to September. It was over a 21 start span. He had a 3.07 ERA and was 6th in the American League in WAR. So I mean, like there was a long period of time last year where he was pitching not only like a number 3, but he was a legitimate number 2. Like remember when there was a little bit of shakeup with with Cole. He was. No, there was a stretch
No,
this
no,
year.
no, no. I'm not.
He really
Listen,
was.
dude. I'm not denying you that he gets like the final product. But what I'm like saying is like why I don't like Monty. I'm sure you know this. Like he's not a fun pitcher to watch. Like, bro,
Sure,
he'll
and
walk to like he gets into the most jams and gets out of the most jams that I've ever seen in my life. And it's not an enjoyable viewing experience at
sure.
all.
For the record, I wanted a number 3 starter. I still want Frankie Montas, and I think Monty having him be the Yankees number 4 and Tyone the 5, that was my like ideal plan, and I still think that
Sure.
would be awesome. So I would like Monty being the 4, but like him being the 3 definitely isn't a bad thing to me. Like he's definitely he's solid, and I said this last year, say it again. I always feel like if Monty's on the bump, we're getting a competitive outing that game. We have a chance. Which maybe that's not the description you want for your number 3 starter. Like I said, I kind of agree with you, but it's not a bad thing having Monty. Monty's really good. For Tyone, bro, like I'm really like high on Tyone just for the fact that I
Are
think
you?
the only time he struggled last year, like for a long period of time, basically the beginning of the season, it was just Tommy John rust. And then once he found it, think about it, Tyone he reinvented himself mechanics wise. Like have you seen the way he pitched with
Yeah.
Pittsburgh compared to like it's a totally different style. And the reason he did that was I think he said it on Tone the Slab was that was the second Tommy John surgery he had that he was recovering from last year. Like he was basically saying like his mechanics, the way he throws, like it's gonna just lead to him getting hurt again. So he basically had to reinvent himself. By the time he figured it out, by the time he was adjusted, like dude, remember like for what was it like a good 15 starts? He was probably a top 5 pitcher in the American League. I'm not sure if it was 15 starts. Maybe it was from July to August. Then he had like a little bump in the road when he was dealing with the ankle injury. Finished off the season great. Remember that game 162?
Sure.
So like
Sure.
he left a really good taste in my mouth, and just for the fact that he's now year 2 off Tommy John, like if you had a crystal ball and told me Tyone was an all-star this year, I'd believe it 100%. And then
That might
Nestor, I
be
already
a
said, is question mark.
stretch, but
Nestor is a question mark. But the thing about Nestor that this is not to do with Nestor, but just like the 5th spot overall, 2 things. One, I basically said it the entire show. Like I think the Yankees are absolutely going to have like a huge deadline or like any move that they need, and that probably is going to be a starting pitcher. I think they will go out and get. So there's that. There's going to be an open spot for that. 2, if Nestor struggles, we have quite a few options to replace him in the 5th spot. You got Heel, Schmidt.
no, for sure, for sure.
Davey has looked really good, really promising
His
actually.
velocity's back up.
That's
Yeah.
good to see. That's one of the things I'm just like I'm happy for him. Because I always hate to see like, and this is the deal with like Bird, Gary, like when you see like a guy come up like a prospect, people get kind of hyped out over him, and then like he falls off a cliff. Like that just sucks to see. So like,
No, yeah.
I think that he looks good now is awesome. But yeah, Herman too when he comes back, and there's probably a couple others I'm forgetting. Manny Benuelos has looked good. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves here now, but like
Yeah.
the Yankee rotation is
They have depth for sure.
they
I
do,
mean, not
and
necessarily like a
I
number
don't see it
two,
going
but
bad. I don't see the rotation last year had the 2nd best ERA in the American League. I'm pretty sure. Not I'm pretty
no,
sure.
they
I think
did, bro.
possible. Yeah,
But I guess
they're
that's where
good.
I'm kind of concerned. Like, I just can't see them replicating what they did last
You know
season.
what
I
it
mean,
is?
they definitely can, but like maybe I'm just taking the pessimistic approach.
If
I don't know.
okay, you basically label the entire rotation after Cole as question marks, and that's fine. I respect your opinion.
Sure.
If I told you
Question
right
marks
now,
as being the number two. Like we
but
know Monty's like a solid 3-4.
I was gonna say if I
Yeah.
told you we're getting Luis Severino this year, like Luis Severino, like the way I described it, where by come July he is the Yankees, like he's Luis Severino that we know of old. Like, how are you feeling then? Does it all of a sudden you're
Bro,
like,
I'd
yo,
feel very confident, but like you can't guarantee that.
no, I
You
know, but
could
I'm
do
saying
anything,
I'm mostly just pointing out that like a lot of this does rely on Severino. Like that changes the whole outlook of the
Oh,
team.
I think that the Yankees rotation this year relies solely on Severino and Tyone. That's what it relies on. Like how those two can stay healthy and also produce on the mound. Comes out of those two. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yo, shout out to Derek with the $5 super chat. Appreciate
Eric,
you so much, my
appreciate you,
man.
bro.
You're a beast. Let's go. But yo, Dan, how are we feeling about the Yankees bullpen? I'm feeling
Great.
like I think that the bullpen's probably like the area of
Bullpen's
the
awesome.
team that I'm like least worried about, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. Like,
dude.
bro, Clay Holmes, Loizaga, Chapman. I
Who's
think
looked good this
Chad has to
spring.
have a bounce back year a little bit.
You gotta go less
Um,
homers.
dude, I think that the Yankees bullpen's pretty solid. Wandy Peralta, Miguel Castro. I think that he's a huge addition.
Don't forget about Michael King. A
Michael
lot of people
King,
sleep
bro,
on
he's
Michael
also
King.
huge.
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
And
I think the Yankees bullpen's set.
and that's another thing where, I mean, you talk about depth. Go right back to those 5th starter options. I mean, like there is a world where Luis Heel is like a nasty piece out of the bullpen if they have to have him be.
Sure.
Same with David Garcia. I mean, that's
I can
probably
give you length.
that's where Davey, yeah, and like that's where Davey would probably end up too, is the bullpen, like no matter what. So I mean, there's gonna be injuries, and at least on the pitching side of things, we're pretty well covered internally. like with
I agree.
major league ready talent that can contribute. So yeah,
You just have
bullpen
to hope Chapman, like, bro, I wanna see Chapman, like, bro, I'm sure you remember, especially, like, when we went to the game last year.
nastiest he ever
Like,
looked.
bro, the first couple months of 2021, like, the way Chapman looked, this
Was
isn't even, like, me
It was
being
insane.
dramatic. That might be the most dominant I've ever seen a pitcher in Major
Pitcher
League
pe
Baseball.
I couldn't agree more. It was
Dude,
insane, and it was all the splitter, and then I don't did he, like, just stop throwing it for some reason, or, like, he lost it, whatever it
I mean, the
was, or
spider
I
tag,
think he
maybe, I don't
realized that I don't know why I've never bought into the spider tag stuff with Chapman, which,
really?
by the way, the spider tag stuff, they're, like I guess, like, they're starting to worry that, like, pitchers are, like, using it again and, like, hiding it
Yeah,
better or something like
yeah,
that,
I
which
saw
is
that.
kinda interesting, but anyways, um, I forget what it was. I think was it lefty started to hit the splitter or something started and he just stopped throwing it, and then he was just awful for, like, a month. His numbers overall were still pretty solid. Like, he did find it again at some point. I think we'll have a good regular season. It just comes down to, like, the postseason,
I
and it's
think
not that
he's
he
the
can't
key in the bullpen.
no, for sure, because I feel like if you were to pick one question mark out of, like, the important guys, I mean, it would be Chapman.
Yeah,
And also too, I mean, just I feel like we should mention for the bullpen, Britton is apparently gonna come back by the end of the year.
really?
Just put that out there. I mean, he said that he hopes to, so
Interesting.
whatever
No,
that means.
that's interesting because I
Yeah, I mean, it's
completely
something
forgot
to
he just
note, which kinda scares me a little bit because, like, not really, but if there were a world where the Yankees needed bullpen help, I could see them avoiding getting it in
don't say
July because you know
that.
what I'm saying? You know where I'm going,
Don't say
yeah.
it. Don't
Just
even
to
no,
bring
it's too
Britton back.
early. It's too early to scar me with that.
Yeah, but no, the
But
Yankees, bro, I mean, it's Laza again, then Loaisiga, Green, who am I forgetting? Holmes. Like, we have a lot of, like, arms that could be closers on major league teams, which is
I
cool.
agree. No, and then also you have like Ridings who could possibly be like an X
Yeah, he's
factor
hurt though,
when
which
he's
is weird.
healthy.
He was put on the 60 day.
Um, yeah, whatever. But yo, before we do like kind of like make our like final season predictions, I want to talk about the bench real quick because the Yankees are, I believe, only carrying like three
Rematch.
guys on the bench
Yeah.
to start the season because they're carrying what like 16 pitchers, I believe. I don't know. So the Yankees bench is basically going to consist of their backup catcher, Jose Trevino, right? Marwin Gonzalez, who I do want to like spend a minute to talk about. I think
Yeah.
you're not a huge fan of him. Dude, I'm a
I
huge
don't
Marwin guy.
Dude, he's just been so I mean, if he's good, all for it, but he's just been so bad offensively the past few years.
No, it's fair.
I can't just buy into that he's like and once again, I'm a sucker for spring training stats, bro, but, like, with Marlon, I just can't buy into it. Like, I feel like
I
he's just
love his
gonna
versatility. I think that he's
No,
exactly what
he's
the
a
Yankees
valuable
needed off
bench
the
piece,
bench.
and, like, no matter what, when it's a veteran, like, he's the kinda guy you figure will at least give you, like, a competent at bat. So, like, when you have that versatility and, like, you're not useless he's definitely not gonna be useless at the plate, at least I would hope not. Like, he is definitely a nice bench piece, and, I mean, he might get a pretty solid amount of well, it also depends too, because like, I guess DJ technically is a bench piece too, in a
Yeah.
way, if you
So
whatever way you
that's
wanna
like
look
your
at it,
three
so
bench guys.
yeah, yeah, and also too, what's clutch? IKF being able to play catcher in a bind, because like, that can come down to, like, pinch hitting
I
shit where,
guess,
like
yeah.
no, it does, because I mean, if there's, like, a guy on the bench that you wanna pinch hit for, like, your catcher, but, like, you don't wanna just have one guy left or, like, you already took somebody out, like, just knowing that IKF in a bind could play catcher, like, that is nice to have, so that's kind of, like, just on the whole bench topic, like,
No, yeah.
it's
I
good
mean,
to have.
also, like, what I'm kinda confused is, like, far as the bench goes, I'm a
Mhm.
little bit surprised, like, that they are going, like, what, 16 pitchers? Because, dude, first of all, like,
I think
like,
a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
be
it
honest.
because
Like, bro, I don't think JP Sears is gonna, like, be any sort of, like, like, you definitely could have
they got
used
the
Tim
kid from my
LeCastro,
hometown too. Oh, Castro, I'm pretty sure.
Marinaccio, right?
Yeah, Tom's
Yeah.
River.
But, like, yo, here's my thing, right? JP Sears, I'm sure he's great, but I think that Tim LeCastro would be able to provide a lot more value off the bench than Sears would be able to provide out of the bullpen.
I
Because
think
the
we'll
odds
get
are, like,
there.
he's not gonna be pitching in a game unless they're, like, down by, like, 15 anyway.
I think the Yankees, 1, knew that today was probably gonna get rained out, and 2, because of that, like, they have, I think 10 games in a row to start off April or something like that. Like, they have a pretty long stretch without a day off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see, alright, you carry these because, you know, JP Sears, Ron Mauriziano. Did I say that right?
I
Mar
don't know.
I should probably know, but, they're
It's your
not gonna
boy, bro.
yeah, I didn't know who he was honestly till a couple days. I really didn't until a couple days ago. But yeah, I mean they're not gonna be on the roster forever. I feel like at least one of them will be down by the end of April. So I mean, I think because like Castro, he'll play a role in this team for sure, 100%.
No,
Because I mean, he's
1,000%.
probably unless there's a minor leaguer I maybe don't know of, like Castro's the fastest guy in the organization, like
Yeah,
without
and
a
also,
doubt that
yo,
I can think of. So
Florial is also an outfield option as well.
and he
He
had
hit, like,
Freeman
a
bomb.
moon yeah, he hit a
Yeah.
moonshot. I think it was today or yesterday or
We
something
gotta
like that.
go. Let's get to a freaking AAA game.
We're going. No, we're going. Chat,
We
meet us in Scranton this season. We're
Yo,
going. We're taking a
word.
road trip.
We also
Let's
should
go.
go to Somerset too.
Oh yeah, because
Somerset's Jersey, right?
yeah, it's in Jersey. I'm down, bro. We're
Yeah.
doing it all this year. We're doing it all.
Dude, for
But
real.
yo, before
I
we
keep
make
box
our,
scores at minor league games, though, by the way.
do you actually?
Yeah, I like the old-fashioned it's very much an old-fashioned feel, minor league parks, where just, like like, minor league games, like, I'm not sure how often you go, but, like, you're just there for baseball, which is cool. Which, I mean, I guess
Oh
that's the
yeah,
case
it's cool.
for anybody usually, but, like, I don't know, I like it.
No, I've never been to a minor league game that wasn't press. You know what I mean? Like
What
I've
do you
never
mean?
gone as a fan.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love going as a fan. Like, I haven't gone as much lately, but, like, by me, we have, like, like, my parents' crib or whatever, we have, the Lakewood Blue Claws, which is, like, the Phillies single A, and, like, going to their games, bro, it's, like, $10, and, like, now that I'm 21, get a
Bro,
beer,
we're
which I
going.
don't drink
No,
beer,
we're
but
going, dude.
yeah,
Bro,
word.
I'm so excited. All right, yo, before we do kind of make our final predictions, there's one more thing I want to talk about,
What?
and yo, it's the fact that Brett Gardner's not a New York Yankee, bro.
Yeah, but
I have to
that
admit, I'm shocked, and
we
also,
technically
yo,
don't have a backup outfielder on the bench, so keep that in mind.
okay, dude. First of all, the backup outfielder is Marwin Gonzalez. He could play outfield if
Yeah,
necessary.
and they have Stanton
Stanton
too.
is also your backup outfielder, and then also, yo, I know this might be, oh Pat, you're delusional. You're just being whatever. I don't see a scenario where this dude comes back and he's absolutely making a fool of himself for not retiring and just holding out in the hopes of in June the Yankees are gonna give him a call, bro. It's disgusting to the point where it's you're not even the Yankees' sixth depth option right now. The way I'm looking at the Yankees outfield, if Hicks goes down, you have Stan, you have Marwin, and then also in AAA you have LeCastro and Florial, who are all better options. Bro, there's no scenario where you're coming back. Just retire.
Yeah, Pat, I don't think he's coming back, man. I think it's all right.
So why is he not retiring?
Pat Gardner is not like the worst player in the world, dude. He can go find a job with like the
He would have already. No other team wants him.
no, he's not. He just needs one little outfield injury, and then he'll be signed by April, like by the end of
You
April,
think?
100%, 100%. Unless he wants to retire, which he doesn't. So I, dude, it's the same way in a way that what we got Cameron Maben in 19. Like you just need one injury. Next thing you know, some guy you never even thought of that would be on your team is on your team. He's that
Okay,
kind of
let me
movie.
ask you a question. The
What?
date is
I'm listening.
August 1st, 2022. Is Brett Gardner on the New York Yankees? August
I
1st.
could see it. I was actually saying to Jake the other day that I could see the Yankees signing because that could happen to the Yankees. I mean,
That's my
if
biggest fear, honestly.
if say Stanton goes down or whoever in the outfield, the Yankees are one of those teams that could sign him by the end of April. So I'm not gonna say it's impossible.
I'd be sick. I know I'd actually be
I know you
sick to my
would. We have to
stomach
come
because we
back
have
to
so
you.
many better options already in the organization, but whatever. Dan, predictions for the Yankees this season. I know this is always the stupidest thing because I know we're both going to say the same thing, but where do you see them finishing in the East? Where do you see the final outcome for the season being?
I'm gonna playoffs 100%. I would say that with or without the expansion, but even
Yeah.
with 12 teams, 100% they're making the playoffs. First year, I'm not gonna pick them to win the division, although it definitely is possible. The Blue Jays are just they're ready to go and they're so good. I think the Rays and the Red Sox will be fighting around fourth and third place. So I have Blue Jays, Yankees, probably the Rays in third, and then Boston in fourth.
Do they win it all this year, though?
Yeah, of course.
Has there ever been a year where you haven't?
That I'll always say yes to. And in my head, that's legitimately what I see. There's a nice clear map to the Yankees winning the World Series.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so every year I feel like I predict oh, Yankees Dodgers World Series. I think I'm gonna go off the deep end this year. I'm gonna be nah, they're not gonna do it. Just so it's they could prove me wrong, So I'm gonna say that the Yankees do make the playoffs, but it's the same story as every other year. They get eliminated by the Blue Jays in the ALDS.
Nah.
That just seems bro, story bro, we're in Toronto. There's a wild pitch, and no, trust me, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Different team this year, bro. It may not end in the World Series, but it'll be different, bro. It won't be the same old. I that's what I'm really excited for.
But I think we can both agree, looking at the American League as a whole, the Blue Jays definitely scare me the most, out of anyone.
I just think they're the
Also,
best
the fact
team,
that
but
when
they
we
don't
go
scare
there,
me.
we're gonna lose a couple of our guys.
Well, yeah. I don't even
Which is brutal.
that, bro. I'm not gonna even address till it's we're leaving for Toronto and Judge for some reason isn't on the plane. That I can't even fathom thinking about that yet. But here's the thing: the Blue Jays don't they're to me gonna win the AL East, but they don't scare me honestly. And I don't have the record on my notes in front of me. I don't have any notes in front of me. But I never felt honestly intimidated by them really for the most part last year. Like I feel like we handled the Blue Jays relatively well last year. Or am I wrong?
I think you're wrong.
Post deadline. I guess maybe I'm just thinking of the series where we ended their season basically
Chat,
in
if
Toronto.
anybody in the chat could give me like the Yankees record against the Blue Jays last season, like let
Yeah.
me know. But I think it was a losing record.
I'm at least thinking trade deadline on. And like I said, I'm definitely factoring in a lot the last series in Toronto, which that was an awesome series. And I always have to shout out Michael K because his calls were electric. That was like Judge bringing down the gavel and post or whatever it was. It was sick. But the game where they homered like 4 times in one inning off Robbie Ray, like
Oh,
around
bro,
that
that
time,
was
like
so
the
amazing.
Yankees were handling the Blue Jays just fine. So I mean, and we're a better
But that's
team.
also when they swept the Red Sox.
I mean, that's a team right now. I'm not going to let the wild card game just mess me up.
No,
I
I
mean,
know.
that's
It's
a
it's
team.
just heartbreaking to think about like what kind of run they could have went on. It's
No, I
okay.
know, and that's why it sucks that they didn't have home field advantage and whatever. But
So you don't have the Yankees winning the East though.
no, but anything's possible. I mean, it's
Right.
not even that. That's not even that kind of vibe. I don't even want to say anything's possible. Like they very well could win the AL East, but like if I know for a fact that if I were taking bias out of it, I would pick the Blue Jays over the Yankees. That's why I'm going to pick them. But the Yankees are 100% a playoff team, and I think I've noticed too, bro. Whether
8 and
we're
11, by the way.
okay, and I'm going to assume majority of that probably came in the first half, or at least like the losing end, because we definitely weren't better against them in the first half or the second half. But I've noticed, bro, whether you listen to opposing broadcasts in spring training or even just on Twitter, the Yankee fans are the ones that talk the worst about this Yankees team.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's a classic thing where like Yankees fans, nobody hates the Yankees more than Yankee fans. Like, I feel like actually when it comes to like evaluating the roster, like other fan bases, other opposing broadcasters, like consider us like a top 5, top 6 team. I mean, even if you look at the power rankings, like they came out yesterday for or a couple of days ago, whether it was MLB, I don't know. We were 6th
Yeah.
in baseball, and like that's starting to not seem like outlandish to me because I've heard multiple people like describe the Yankees as like we're a legitimately good team. We're not maybe like as good as we thought we were going to be like after 2019 when we got Cole, but like we're a solid team. And like
Yeah.
I try to remind myself of that, like, having like, and I think you hate this because you don't like the whole like crapshoot thing. You just got to get into the playoffs, especially now with the wildcard game being the wildcard round being the thing, like no longer a single game elimination. Like more often than not, the better team will come out of that wildcard round because it's a series now. Like once again, going back to Cole and Severino, like even if we are a wildcard team, bro, like if you just get in, like the Yankees have as good a shot as anybody would going into to win a World Series. Like honestly, especially with
No,
I
I
think they're gonna have
agree.
a good deadline. Deadline's gonna be huge, bro. That's honestly like then we could take away my main like point from this episode. Like the Yankees are set up right now to have a very nice team, a team that is going to be added on in 3 months. I think 100%. There's a
No,
chance.
it's fair.
Here's the thing for you. I wouldn't be shocked if the Yankees traded for Carlos Correa come the deadline with the Twins.
That might be the hottest take I've ever heard from you, like ever.
Yeah, no, I think
Trading
it's
for
certainly
Correa at the
possible.
deadline.
Yeah, because I mean, listen, here's the thing: if the Twins shit the bed, which who they got again today? They got somebody I forget. But
Paddock?
yeah, they got Paddock. Like they're
I
going
don't
for it.
think they got it. I think they're like working on getting him.
Oh, whatever.
I
Anyways,
could be wrong. I
they're
don't know.
going for it. I don't even know. They're going for it. But if they, crap the bed and things aren't looking good by the deadline, I mean, let's be real. Like we know Correa is not going to be unless he has a terrible year. Correa is obviously going to opt out after this year. 100% is going to opt out, and he'll be able to get 230 something million. I'm just saying, there's a chance Correa's on the block. I don't think the Yankees are going to get him, but what I'm saying is like it's not out of the realm of possibility for me. Point is, they're going to have a big offseason or big deadline.
No, if they could pull off a deadline like they did like last year, because last year's deadline was pretty
It was
big.
good. It was good. I think it's going to be more
I
pitching
think I'll be
focused though.
satisfied. Yeah, no,
I think it might be
100%.
like and listen, a big deadline can be one bat and one arm, but if it's what the team needs, like then like all you need to do is just make the moves that push you over the hump. And that's why last year's deadline was awesome. Like that was the moves that push us over the hump. It just, wild card game didn't work out.
Yeah, I think the only thing
I
that
think
I'm
we'll get
expecting, the only thing I'm hoping out of the Yankees this season is to at least be watchable. Because I would say for the majority of last season, even though that they won 90 plus games, that team was unwatchable for a lot of the time. Like, bro, they were that bad.
yeah.
So now that the defense has improved, hopefully the hitting is a little bit better. I'm just hoping like to enjoy a season of watching Yankees baseball because last season for the most part was not enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, I will say though, I feel like some people forget that like if you just looked at the second half on, like if season started from second half on, like it was a pretty entertaining team for the most part. Like there was
Yeah,
just that.
no, they were just
Know what it was?
streaky.
Know what it was? I feel like after the 13-game win streak, it was like, we had that rough like 2 weeks or whatever, and like it kind of reminded people of like early in the season. It's like, oh, it's the same old team again. But like I really kind of had like trained myself to look at like the 2021 Yankees in two separate pieces, as like I feel like we all should. Like post deadline team was much different and a much better team than first half. So like I
Sure,
kind of
but
look
they
at
were
that as
still streaky.
like when I look at like this team that we have right now, like I'm looking at a continuation of like that. But I guess we were streaky. It wasn't that bad. Like the main
No, we
culprit of the
were.
streakiness was no, we were, but it was like
I wish I had like the numbers in front of me because it was,
but
bro. They
it
would go
wasn't
like
like
13-0 and then go 0-13. Like, you know what I
no,
mean?
I know, no, but that was just like it wasn't like to me as bad as it was in like the beginning. Like I feel like the beginning was really bad, whereas like the second half just it wasn't as miserable to watch for me. Is kind of like what I'm saying. Like it wasn't,
Yeah, no, for sure,
yeah.
for sure.
But anyways,
But yo,
I'm so excited for this year, bro. I
I
really
was
am.
gonna say
Like
the
it's
same.
so nice to have baseball back. And like after all that BS we were dealing with, like the lockout and whatnot, like just to know that I was about to say tomorrow. Like
I wish,
Friday,
bro.
it's gonna be nice
I
out,
wish.
dude. I'm cooking hot dogs in my crib. I
Are
got
you?
my
I hate, bro. I was saying this before. Like, hot dogs are absolutely like
no,
disgusting
I love them. I'm
abominations.
on
Like,
you may not even know this. I'm on my gluten-free diet now, which I've been
oh
doing
yeah,
for
I
like
know. Yeah,
yeah. Like gluten conscious. I mean, I'm not like having celiac disease or nothing, but I'm gonna indulge. I'm gonna have some regular hot
no,
dog buns, bro. It's
that's
a
a little
holiday,
psychotic, but yeah,
exactly. So I'm pumped, dude. I'm so pumped. Have you don't play MLB, do you?
yeah. No, I do.
Oh,
I
you
I,
do?
I like I
Did
play
you
like
get the
once
new
a
one?
week or so. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. I'm enjoying it. I'm playing franchise mode.
I'm gonna
Haven't
be
played.
honest. Like, you don't play online, do you,
No, I want to
bro?
kind of get into Diamond Dynasty, but I say that every year, and I'm already kind of past the point where I
No,
would.
you say
So
that every year.
yeah, no, I
And but
literally do.
yo, I don't know if like anybody in the chat could like agree with me here. Um, why is everyone saying what L take for Pat? This is Pat's. What was my take?
What
That
do you
hot
say?
dogs suck?
Oh, hot dogs suck. I
Bro, what the hell?
was about to say
I blame hot dogs for all my problems. But yo, I
that's
was
like
saying,
not showing off my screen today too, which is weird. Like it
really?
is, but it's like
Are you on like the full screen version?
no, I clicked the full screen version, and then like when I went out of it, it's like there sometimes. I don't know. Stream mode's glitching. I guess it's just been so long that it like wants to mess with me.
Bro, bottom line, I'm excited for the season. Like, I
I'm
kind of
so
wish
pumped.
opening day was tomorrow. But
Me
yo, like
too.
you said, like Friday's gonna be a super nice day. Like, we're rocking with it,
Yeah.
dude.
And
I'm
we'll watch some games
excited.
tomorrow. We'll watch some games, check out the Mets
Oh
and
no,
some
dude, we were saying this before we went live, right? It's kind of like the Yankees are playing like that Wednesday wild card, and
yeah,
now we just get to like watch tomorrow's games and just like
exactly.
enjoy
Sit
and like
back,
not have any
chill.
stress attached.
I might get a couple White Claws tomorrow. Maybe, dude, Mike's harder
Uh,
during a baseball game. Forget about it.
Bro, White Claws are disgusting.
Yo, I want to play something for the stream really quick.
What is it?
Did you
Is
see
it
that Mike?
is it
No,
copyrighted?
no, it's a clip from Mike Francesa. I posted yesterday. You may have seen it, but it just perfectly describes like by baseball. It's like a minute. It's a minute long. Can I play it? We're at the end of the show,
Yes.
but it just describes. It just gives the magic of baseball.
Final four. You got. I'm with all.
That's the wrong clip.
This is the most Dan thing ever. Just be like, yo, let's play this Mike Francesa clip before we wrap.
And baseball still has that romance of the opening day.
Can't
the other
wait.
the other sports don't have that. Not even football.
Nope.
But baseball's got that opening day all to itself.
And it's a great time. What baseball gives you is it gives you every day. You turn a page in the book.
Like he used to say,
every
a
day.
chapter each.
That's
There's
it.
100 chapters, and you get a chapter every couple weeks.
Baseball is your companion. It's there every day. It's in the car with you. It's in the backyard with you.
Oh.
It's there every night. You don't have to watch every minute, every game, but it's there every night. You turn it on. It's there. You had a game. How good is it to know that you go home and you got a baseball game on?
And not only that, it's the only sport where the
That's
radio-
amazing. Like, how good is it to go about your day and know you got
Dan,
a
you're
baseball
such a
game on?
boomer, bro.
I'm a big Francesa guy, bro. That's why I brought it to Diet Coke. I mean, they missed that. This is a Coke Zero, but I had a rancid smelling Diet Coke for it, so I threw it out.
Yeah. Do you want to like show the chat? Because it's kind of like rancid looking.
Well, my Coke Zero is fine. I dumped out the Diet Coke.
Oh, you dumped it out?
Yeah, and I literally just bought it right beforehand.
Oh. Anything else you want to throw out there before we wrap things up? Dude, we went an hour and 20 minutes tonight.
Somebody asked Dan, are you inspired by Zach Wilson? So
Who's Zach
I
Wilson?
Is it the Jets quarterback? I said more in the headband.
Oh.
This goes back a while. You remember I used to wear headbands back in like 19.
Dude, you go in streaks. Like you go
Well,
6
this
months.
time
where
it's
it's
especially
like,
the
no.
more like this time it's a lot more like of a necessity because like I don't really like
They're
wearing hats.
bandanas, bro.
Well, no, but I don't like wearing
Headbands.
hats. So like you know how like it forms the mullet better, and I don't like
You
wearing hats
used to wear hats, bro.
all the time. Not as much
Yeah.
anymore. You know what it is? Once I started working at Verizon, which I don't work at anymore, but once I started working at Verizon, like I always wore suits. So like I just didn't really. It made us wear suits, by the way, for those who don't know.
But
Yeah.
also, your hair's like really puffy. Like I would have had.
Well, now I have to get a haircut because now it's just getting a little bit like too long or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's also, I went to the gym with this hair too, so I work out. A little bit.
To answer this question from Milkman, like, yeah, he does wear underwear now. Like he does.
I do wear underwear now. I mean, I can show you
It's
guys
huge.
if you want. I have my Greg Bird
for
shirt on
sure.
too. Yeah.
No.
I got some buttons on.
All right, Dan, let's not. No. Okay, that's the weirdest.
That was a very good. Yo, if somebody were to show their underwear on a stream, that was actually very conservative and I'm very glad the right amount showed. It was just like a little whoop,
Whoop. With that being said, great boxers, by the way.
Dude, I told you I no longer wear the briefs. They're like the loose. Dude, I act like they're like they're Hanes classic boxers or whatever. But it's a comfort thing.
I clipped that.
Yeah, word.
I'm saving it for later.
Okay.
All right. Yo, with that being said, that is gonna wrap things up for episode 29 of the Pat and Dan show.
Weird.
Listen, chat, for those of you like asking, oh, where's the Pat and Dan show? It'll be coming. Surprise points throughout the season. Like we're here for it. We're
for sure. Well, I think we agreed on like at least once a month, and then just like after
at the very minimum.
Like say freaking who knows, maybe it's Stanton homers on opening day, or like walks off home or something. Crazy events, basically. If
Dude, maybe if like the
random
Yankees win
episodes.
like a 15-inning game on like April 14th, we'll go live after.
You see, you notice how like my go-to for a walk-off homer is Stanton. Like subconsciously, I'm just like if Stanton hits a walk-off homer, it's just like
because he's better than Judge, right? More clutch.
Have a good night, everyone.
We'll see you guys next time. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. See you all next time.
Peace.